Welcome back once again to Switch Stars, my name is Luke, and welcome back to another scam video for another Midnight Works game. And I use the word game lightly, as Tormentor-Action Fire Counter Shooter Game 2023 Gunstrike Simulator may just be the most low effort title I've ever played from these absolute scam artists. And believe me, I've played some shite from them, but Tormentor undoubtedly takes the biscuit. Now this one is currently on sale in Canada for only 6 Canadian cents, and you're probably here because you've considered picking it up, or because you've already picked it up and wanted to see my opinions on it. So drop a like, subscribe for more Switch reviews and content, and let's get down to business. Now if you want to know more about the so-called games that Midnight Works & Co have been putting out, then be sure to check out my Scam Games playlist to see just how bad they are and why you should avoid them at all costs. But getting into Tormentor, you'll first note that like most Midnight Works games, this one can only be played in handheld mode. From the main menu though, we get a couple of options. Firstly, we can customise our character, or as the developers call it, character customization. And here we can switch between blue and red and unlock an assortment of costumes for our robots, each of which cost credits earned in game. Next we have the armory, which offers up a selection of weapons including assault rifles, shotguns, SMGs, LMGs and sniper rifles, again all of which cost currency. And finally we can to battle, and we have both single player and multiplayer options to select from. Now the single player mode consists of a single large level filled with bots, and you'll note right away that they haven't even bothered to configure the controls properly in this one, as you can't actually shoot using the triggers and instead must either tap the screen or press the B button. Working your way through the level, you'll encounter about 10 or so bots, none of which actually pose any kind of threat due to their AI being completely moronic, and I don't even think you can take damage. But after dispatching them all, there doesn't actually appear to be any way to complete the level, and so it's back to the main menu to check out the multiplayer. Now if for some reason you have friends who have also purchased this shit show, then you have the option of creating a private room to play in, but thankfully I don't, so the only other option you have is deathmatch mode. And this will drop you into a random online lobby, and rather surprisingly, there actually turned out to be quite a few people to play against. But let me tell you now, once you've played one match, you've played them all, and I guarantee most of these players will have already uninstalled Tormentor by the time this review goes live. Deathmatch mode though is your standard deathmatch, or more accurately, team deathmatch, with players spawning in on either the red or blue sides and then duking it out in the mode's one and only arena. And as you can see by the visuals, there's been no effort spared whatsoever with this arena, which consists of a bunch of untextured shapes and very little else. The matches themselves last for a total of 90 seconds, after which you're rewarded with a set amount of credits regardless of how well you play, and then you're booted back to the main menu and can either uninstall the game, like you should, or if like me you're a glutton for punishment, jump back in for another round, or 10 as the case may be, until you can unlock your first weapon. Now there are random weapons which spawn around the arena and a couple of health pickups which can help you out if you're just starting off, but by default everybody begins the journey in Tormentor with a pistol, and the only way to unlock weapons is through grinding matches, which most players won't actually have the willpower to do. So as soon as you unlock your first weapon, you can pretty much stomp everyone, and if you're that way inclined, can even spawn camp them to oblivion just to be a hyper dick. But I ended up picking up the shotgun, which I was able to snipe people across the arena with, so there's absolutely no balance with the weapons, and most of them share the exact same sound effect. Beyond the unrewarding grind though, and getting a bit of a semi-on over pissing people off by constantly spawn killing them because you've got no life and actually made it through 10 online matches, there's really nothing else to say about Tormentor, except it's a complete fucking piece of shit and undoubtedly the worst first person shooter on the Switch, and indeed the worst first person shooter I've ever played in my life, and even that bag of dicks American Wild Hunting from PixArts was better, which believe me is saying something. But this is just another prime example of why Nintendo really need to get their shit together and crack down on this Midnight Works bullshit. If you take a look at the eShop listing for it, for once the screenshots are actually legit, but once again the description is utter bollocks, as the developers describe Tormentor as the ultimate 3D multiplayer first-person shooter, offering an immersive gaming experience which will keep you engaged for hours on end. And this, my friends, is the case with all of their games. Utter fucking garbage, the lot of them, with hyper-embellished descriptions, and more often than not, fake screenshots. Like I said though, check out my Scam Games playlist for more on that subject. But for now, I do hope you enjoyed this review and I saved you a couple of quid with it, and if I did, drop a like to show your appreciation, subscribe for more like it, as well as reviews of actual Nintendo Switch games, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.